All right, Shalom. It's your brother Kushab coming back at you with another lesson. Now, before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, infinite honors unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this true and rule well. And peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopefully elect, as well as those that believe in the gospel, and may you endure to the end, Lord willing. All right, and I just want to get into a quick lesson today. All right, particular title, have a particular title right now, but centered around, our reward is conditional, right? Which I saw one of the elder brothers, going to a lesson on brotherly love is conditional, and immediately through the spirit, the thought came to my mind that, our reward is conditional as well, all right? Now, there's the saying in the world, all right, in which people say, oh, you're supposed to love unconditionally, all right, which means without a condition, all right, without a proper stipulation, right? But no, that's not the way that things work, right? Let's say a man and a woman love each other. Well, that love is conditional, all right? Under the condition that what? This woman treats me a certain, under the condition, Salaki, my phone cut off and overheated. But, as I was saying, a woman and between a woman and a man, she's loved under a condition that a man treats her a certain way, right? He takes care of the bills, right? But a woman will love a man based on, his conditions, man, and that furthermore brings me to the, just kind of expounding on, what a condition is, right? Because let me see, looking something up real quick. Bear with me 1 second. Right. Let me see if I can do it like this. Just 1 second. Right, so now when I look this up, the word conditional, all right, on a Google, simple Google Outlook, simple Google Outlook, because I'm gonna get into etymology as well. All right, now it says subject to one or more conditions or requirements being met, or made or granted on certain terms. All right, and what I want to get into the lesson on is that our rewards are conditional, all right? Our rewards are conditional, man, because under the condition that we do what? Endure to the end. Under the condition that we continue, all right? And that's the biggest thing, to continue, all right? That the Lord, I don't desire, he doesn't take the spirit away, man. All right, that's the main condition that requires a salvation, which, if we be saved, then we automatically get the rewards, all right? Especially the reward of ultimately being a part of the first fruits, right, of the kingdom of heaven, man, But it says of a clause, a phrase, Shalaki, it says a conditional clause or conjunction, all right? But that's the point, made or granted on certain terms, right? Made or granted on certain terms, right? And so our salvation is made or granted on the terms of finishing the work, all right? As Apostle Paul said, I fought the good fight, I have kept the faith, all right? I have finished my course, man, and we want to be likened unto the same stead, all right? Lord willing. You see? So I'm gonna go to let me get over right quick, Salakia. Alright, so I'm gonna go to the book of Colossians, chapter 1, because I was reading this, and this what made me, this what sparked in my memory when I was reading this, and I immediately thought about the elder brother lesson that he did on, brotherly love being unconditional. All right, when I was reading this, and I was like, yo, it's a title right here. All right, because we have to finish the work. All right, we have to fight until the end. Matthew 24:13, and he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. All right, so we have to fight until the end, man. That's Colossians chapter 1, verse 20. Shalaki, verse 23. It says, if ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I, Paul, am made a minister. All right, and it says if, right? If, you see, because the word if is a word that is not sure. You see, it's an unsure word, right? So you don't know when the word if is joined into a sentence. It gives you uncertainty, right? Because we don't know if everybody that's preaching and teaching right now are going to endure to the end. You see, different calamities, different things that's going to happen. They might depart from the faith. They might take the MOTB. And I don't want to write this out. That don't happen. That's not going to happen. To the sincere. But it says in the NLT, but you must continue to believe this truth and stand firmly in it. In it. All right. In it and on it, man. All right. You must. You see? Because there's no reward, all right, for those who don't continue. There's no reward for those who don't believe or stand firmly on the truth. There's no reward for that, all right? There's no reward for falling out of the truth, man. for crying out loud, right? Hold on, let me park real quick. Alright. My phone started overheating and it cut off the first lesson. So, I don't want to write this out and stay on. Okay. Now, it's not going to be a long lesson. It should be straight to the point. Now, it's back in Colossians 1:23 in the NLT. Alright. And which says, you must continue to believe this truth and stand firmly in it. Don't drift away from the assurance you received when you heard the good news. You see, don't drift away from it, all right? Because we've been assured of, if we continue in the faith, that there's promises that the Lord has for the elect, all right? Especially a chance of being a part of the first fruits, man. There's no greater calling. There's nothing else better to be a part of than this. You see, it says the good news has been preached all over the world, and I, Paul, have been appointed to be the Most High servant to proclaim it. You see? And we've been appointed, all right, to be the Most High servant and proclaim it. Okay, as what? Ambassadors. You see? As ambassadors, man. All right? Now it says, all right, now it says, that was pretty much it. All right, so we're going to go to Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, right? One of my favorite scriptures. It says, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. Here's the point. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. You see? We shall reap if we faint not. So if we're sowing in the spirit, all right, we're going to, of the spirit, reap life everlasting. You see? But the main point is to continue, all right? To continue, man, all right? Now it says in verse 9 in NLT, so let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessings if we don't give up. You see? We're getting ready to reap those blessings, man. So now it's not the time to give up or look back, right? In which is how our reward is conditional. You see? Faggot. All right. Right, so this is Sirach chapter 2 and 6. It says, believe in him and he will help thee, order thy way right and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. You see, our reward won't fail under the condition that we do what? Believe, right? So when you go back to the word condition, just to bring it up again, it says one or more conditions or requirements being met. So believing is a requirement that needs to be met in order to what? Receive a reward, all right? And what's the ultimate reward is salvation. But you can't receive that salvation if you don't believe, man. You see? It says made or granted on certain terms. So salvation is granted on the terms of what? Believing. You see? That's the main term. Why would the Lord save you if you don't truly believe, man? What sense does that make? All right? You have to believe. Now it says, oh, that's right. Right, now this is an AI overview of the question. It says, what does it mean if something is conditional? Something is considered conditional if its existence, occurrence, or validity depends on the existence, occurrence, meaning, or fulfillment of another condition. In the essence, it's something that will only happen, Salakia, I'm getting excited. It says, in essence, it's something that will only happen if something else happens or is true. You see? So if this happens, if I believe, then I'll be saved. You see, it works hand in hand, man. All right? The Lord loves us under a condition that we do what? Follow his laws, statutes, and commandments. You see? There's no such thing as unconditional, man. All right? Especially in this truth, because when something is unconditional, then that means what's the word? It's on the tip of my tongue, man. It escapes me. Nothing is being met. The requirement isn't being met. All right? There's no accountability. You see? Which is why the Lord requires us to have conditions, man. So we can be held accountable, right? But let me see, I had a couple more, maybe one more, and I just, end it off there, right? Because in order for us to reap that reward, to be a part of the first fruits, the governing body in the kingdom to come, all right, the everlasting kingdom, we have to do what? Continue to be diligent, man. All right? 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall. All right? In NLT it says, so dear brothers and sisters, work hard to prove that you are really among those the Most High has called and chosen. Do these things and you will never fall away. All right? So another condition is that you got to be studying, reading. All right? You got to be handling your business as a man of the Lord. All right? Communicating, right? Because if you do these things, that's going to help you what? Not fall away. All right, the more you build distance between you and the brothers, the more chances Satan can get in there, get in your head, all right, and ultimately destroy you, man. You see? But if you do what you're supposed to do, what? You ain't gonna fall away. So your reward ain't gonna fail, man. All right? But that's pretty much the point. And, I don't want to write this out. This lesson was edifying, straight to the point. So with that, let me give all praises, glory, infinite honors unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors once again to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, citations to the hopefully elect. Till next time, I say shalom.